Is it muted on?
Bonjour. Can you hear me?
It's giving feedback. It's giving. Well, it's showing that it's given.
Okay, perfect. Awesome.
You can't hear us.
Okay, hello, everybody. Hello. Wow. Okay. Thank you guys. Oh, damn. Wait, really?
Well, then stop.
I can turn it down a little. Is that good?
You kill the music? I always kill the music.
Oh, what if I turn the music? Is it still bad? Technical difficulties. Everybody hold on. Okay, John. Yeah, let's kill the music.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you so much. Incredible. Very much. It should be good. I'm sorry for anybody if that was a horrible experience. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another ISSessions. Happy to have you. Jabril is unfortunately sick today, so you have to put up with Jamal. I do too, so don't worry. Today we're gonna we have some pretty cool middle segments. Like instead of just going through the news, we have a couple people who are willing to actually do a middle section, so that's gonna be great. Thank you, John, Adam. Thank you guys. Nice suits. We're also gonna then after our break go into CTF talk. This is the last session before the CTF.
Incorrect.
Okay, I'm super wrong.
John.
Oh, sorry. John also has a middle section. His is after the break. So after John, whatever. There's two presentations today surrounding a break, and then we're going to talk about CTF. We don't have like a guest speaker. We figured this is probably the last chance we get to talk to you guys about what the hell a CTF is and what we're doing with it. So that's kind of what today is for. The next time we see you guys, if not on campus, is going to be at the CTF. If any of you guys are coming in person. The only thing, I'll probably reiterate it towards the end. Please, if you haven't already, join the CTF Discord, as well as sign your registration forms. I've thought this would be very easy. It's not very easy to get all these people that want to come to sign these registration forms. Very easy, takes 5 minutes. We'll post it again today as part of the session, but yeah, that's all I ask. If you want to come, do the form.
Basically, if you don't do the find a train on the way to the CTF, Sheridan is not responsible.
Oh, that one too. Sorry. If you're a Sheridan student, you're going in person, there's an extra form that you got to sign. Just as a Sheridan student, you have to do an off-campus event waiver. So that applies to, I'd imagine, all of you guys if you're coming in person. So yeah, that kind of starts it. Jamal's going to take over. Yeah, should be good to go.
Yeah, I thought I got really go. All right. Thank you for coming, everybody. This is so nice to have you guys all here again. Before I get started, I want you guys to think about something that I've written on the board here. It's a very simple question. And you're probably going to overthink why I'm asking you what you do in your free time, but you don't need to answer right now. I just want you to be ready for when I ask you, what do you do in your free time? Okay, that's it. But just keep it on the back of your head. Just think about it. Have an answer ready. I'm going to ask every single person in this room. And maybe online, I'll also shoot a message in there. So on the board, for those that can't see, it says, what do you do in your free time for the people online? So I'm gonna bug you guys about that in a little bit. Okay. Is this yours? You're first? Yep. Okay. All right. We'll start with the news. We'll go into everything and then, oh, whoops. Okay. It's my first time, guys. Sorry. There you go.
Thank you, Jamal.
By the way, Jamal was this Jabril's role last week, so it's not certain. First, you know, whole 2 terms.
Go back. All right. Good evening to all those in attendance, those tuning in on Discord. My name is Abdi, third-year content dev on ISS. Today, I'm going to be walking you all through a phishing campaign that's been recently exposed, showing how social engineering is actually still one of the most effective tools for threat actors. This particular group targeted Apple users by exploiting a simple but very effective trick. This trick was to abuse Apple's account recovery system by spamming users with legit security alerts. And the goal of this was to make the users panic and believe that their account was under attack. Once the victims received these alerts from Apple, actually, the attacker then followed up with a phone call spoofing Apple support's number, making the victim believe that they're actually on the phone with Apple support. Once the victim answered, they sorry, they persuaded the victim into reading out a 6-digit code over the phone. And for most of you may know what that 6-digit code is, but for those who don't, it's the multi-factor authentication code, meaning that once the attacker got the 6-digit code off of the victim, they gained full access and control of their Apple account. It was allegedly reported that this exact phishing campaign was used on a musician, and once the musician read their 6 digits over the phone, they gained access to their Apple account and started to release a bunch of unreleased music made by said musician. Before I finish, I'd like to go over some key takeaways from this story for the future cybersecurity professionals in this room. The first one being that social engineering is often more effective than technical exploits. The second one being to verify caller ID, especially in a situation where you may be sharing sensitive information over the phone. And finally, this is actually my favorite saying in the realm of cybersecurity: a system is only as strong as its weakest link. The weakest link, obviously, being us humans. That's all I have for you all today. Thank you all for listening.
All right. Hey guys, my name's Hussein, for those of you who haven't met me yet. And I'm going to be covering a recent hack that happened to a cryptocurrency exchange platform called Femex. You guys may not have heard of this platform before. That's because it's not in Canada. It's actually based out of Singapore. But this is like a huge cryptocurrency exchange platform on that side of the world. And pretty much hackers were able to steal like an estimated $85 million worth of cryptocurrency from them. And this cryptocurrency was all stored in something called hot wallets. So there's two ways to store cryptocurrency. It could be in a hot wallet or a cold wallet. Cold wallets are pretty much completely disconnected from the internet. They're not on any network. But the hot wallets were, and these hackers somehow, it's not very clear to us, but they gained kind of access to the private keys from the cryptocurrency platform, and were able to kind of extract all of their cryptocurrency that they stored on this hot wallet. So once they kind of discovered this, they shut down all of the transactions that were happening on the platform. There's a computer taking off. Yeah, so they paused all of the transactions, so no buying and selling cryptocurrency until they kind of had this all sorted out. They also had to release proof of reserves, which pretty much shows that they can cover all of the lost cryptocurrency, and those who have accounts on this platform can still, have access to their funds once this is all over. So some of the important lessons that we can take away from this is the importance of having hot and cold wallets. So if this was all stored in hot wallets, they would have definitely lost way more than if there was kind of that separation between the two. And also to kind of prioritize your private key security and make sure that you're using a proper private key management if you're a platform of this size. So yeah, thank you guys.
Okay. I might not be able to see with these glasses on, so we'll try my best. If I take them off halfway through, you guys know why. But I have a couple articles, well, two articles for you guys to talk about. This one I thought was actually quite interesting. I don't know if you guys were here when I presented the PDF issue with, there was like an issue with the PDF characters being hidden, and it was hiding the .exe file with a .pdf file, and you couldn't click on it, and there was like braille characters that you couldn't render on the screen. Well, this is a similar issue. So basically, there are these things called zero width characters. They don't render on HTML at all. It's literally nothing. They don't render as anything. Usually they're used to block characters, like you don't want ligatures to form, which is like when you create a symbol with text, or if you're like concatenating or like hyphenating a word, it will spawn or print a zero width character. and that's fine. But malicious attackers are basically crafting specific emails that have very basic phishing inside the emails. Like I honestly can't see it, but you might have. Maybe you guys can't tell, but you can just look. The top one here, it's very basic phishing notice. It basically has your email telling you like, hey, like, your password is, broken, please change it, et cetera, et cetera. And it gets through the spam filter on the email. And this is because of the 0-width characters. When they're rendered when you open the HTML up, you can't see this at all, but the green blocks there, those are the 0-width characters. So when you read the HTML raw code, it shows up, but when you render the page, like on a front page, it doesn't show at all. So these emails are getting through these spam filters because, well, the words aren't there. It's like you have the word what, well, the in between W, H, A, and T, there's a 0-width character. So it's not the word what, it's 4 separate letters. So the system doesn't know what you're reading, so it lets it in, and all of a sudden you have a phishing email in your company or inbox, whatever, and someone's going to click it because we all know people click phishing links. So, I mean, that is a small one, very, simple thing just to watch out for. The only thing, I guess, for now to watch out for is to get machine learning spam filters, like machine learning based spam filters, so that stuff like this won't get through. And yeah, I mean, pretty much that's it. That's this one for the small article. And then I have the middle segment for you guys as well. Or not, actually. Sorry, I forgot.
Yes.
Yes, that's you.
Thank you. I'll give you your middle segment soon.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, guys. So let's all clap for it. So this is kind of like less of, it is news, but it's less of like a breach or something like that. It's more of like an interesting thing that's developing right now. So who here has heard of DeepSeek? Yeah, I'd assume so. So how many of you actually have used it so far? A couple people. Okay, you should try it before it gets like banned into existence. But it is insane. Today I made a crypto trading bot that's actually working with a built-in mini LLM to learn from itself to make good trades in like 10 minutes. So it has like very limited restrictions, but it's really cool. Anyway, moral of the story here is AI company steals training data from AI company that stole training data. So OpenAI, OpenAI is saying that the reason that DeepSeek is so good, so powerful, or at least one of the major contributing factors, is that they have apparently stolen some of the training data that OpenAI had and some of the training models that they have as well. So don't worry too much about the blurb that I've put here, but essentially Microsoft, OpenAI, and even Donald Trump today have all made statements saying that they're very, very sure that the servers that are used, or the servers that were accessed by team members from DeepSeek for like the training and like the open API access, apparently workers from DeepSeek have been taking that information somehow and using it to train the DeepSeek model. Now, listen, I don't know how much I believe that, because like if you took something that's 100% and then you made it 130%, like I don't really know how the math is working there. I'm sure they just like outperformed them, but it's funny how this development is causing like so much panic and stock loss and like huge like not distrust but like disbelief that these multi-billion-dollar companies are being beaten by a system that apparently costs $6 million to make. I find it very funny that it's already like being talked about similarly to how TikTok is being potentially going to be banned soon. So something to keep in mind. I'm going to follow this story as it develops. I'm really interested to see like what's actually going to happen with this. But like I was saying, before it actually gets like nuked into the atmosphere, I would definitely try it because it's very interesting to see how it works in comparison to like ChatGPT or some of the other ones that we're familiar with. It has significantly less restrictions. Like if you ask ChatGPT anything about investments or crypto, it says, go get a job, right? Where this one, it was like, buddy, whatever you need, no problem. How much money you got? $100, $5, $2, doesn't matter. We'll get started. So, yeah, something to think about. And yeah, that's it. Oh, yeah.
Which was the other company that stole trading data? Because I don't see it listed there. I'm assuming OpenAI, but
Just it was just saying that DeepSeek stole from OpenAI. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I'm gonna take these glasses off because I can't see anything. I can't even see you guys. We're going to talk about this hack that happened at it was found last summer, but it was disclosed at the end of last year in December. And I read the article a couple nights ago at like 2, 3 a.m. and I was like, this is insane. I have to present this. Like this, I was reading through it and I'm like, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. So we're going to talk about it, see how it goes. Just a bit of an introduction for people who don't know me. I'm John, cybersecurity student from Mississauga. I like to stream. I like to learn things and share the info with like-minded folks. So today we're just focusing on McDonald's McDelivery app breach, but it happened in India. So we'll go over a few things like the vulnerabilities, the background, and we'll just talk about the situation and hopefully you guys enjoy it. So we'll talk about McDelivery first. So what is McDelivery? So, oops, sorry. Actually, before we continue, just so I don't forget, I have a script for things that I will forget how to say. Give me a second. But yeah, so basically in Canada, we have Uber Eats, DoorDash, Skip the Dishes, stuff like that for delivery. Well, in India, at least in West and South India, they have a specific app called McDelivery, and it's with McDonald's. It's partnered with McDonald's. It's only operated within, like I said, West and South India, and they're owned by a specific chain of restaurants called Hard Paso restaurants. The app itself has 10 million app downloads over the Google Play Store and the Apple iOS Store, and number 19 on food and drink app in iOS, and it contributes 43 billion US dollars to the Indian food delivery market just from West and South India, which already is massive. So that's a huge area for like customer leaks to happen and all that other stuff. Let me just grab this script in case I forget something. Yeah, so in the US, McDonald's US or Canada doesn't have a bug bounty program, but McDonald's India does. Not sure why, and even HackerOne has called them out for it. They sent them a huge like calling them out blog post of just asking McDonald's USA to like sub to like please like go on HackerOne, like it'll be better for you, I promise. And they're like they haven't done anything for it. So companies are calling out them, and at least for now, there's nothing that has happened. And just one more stat: the app itself accounts for 62% of all digital orders for the Indian food delivery market, which is already massive. So this was discovered by a singular researcher, Eaton Tavari, not sure how to pronounce it. He's from Traceable AI. And basically, he was able to find a way to manipulate the price to change it from anything, like whatever it cost, to 1 rupee, which is 1 US cent. Insane. And they were also able to hijack orders through very carefully API timed requests. They were able to leak and track driver GPS, and they were even able to access admin KPI numbers, which is super confidential towards the company that has them. And there are a few vulnerabilities associated with them, and don't worry, we got explanations, so hopefully it doesn't go over anybody's head. Yeah, this was just them changing the price at the top, so they sent this, and it was able to save. And what they tried to do with the amount, but amount was being validated by the server, and price and count were not. So basically, I wrote a bunch of information for this. Right. So there was an extremely common vulnerability that was accessed called a broken object level authorization, otherwise known as a BOLA. Not Ebola, Ebola. Basically, it was just it's something that basically could lead to unauthorized access or data manipulation, and it was allowing the attacker to enumerate through order IDs sequentially until they would find a valid API order. So originally to test this, he would not start at 1,000, he started at 0, and then he went to 1, 2, 3, 4, and he would find developer tests. So from when the system was being created, and these orders were already delivered, but he was able to see what the information that was being exchanged through the API to figure out what he needs to change to access other valid account orders. They did a few things with these things called put and patch requests, and they were not validated by the server. Sorry, guys, I didn't realize that was going to be very lost for this part. Okay, well, we can talk about the other vulnerability at this point, but basically here right now, this would be put into the like the burp suite type applications, anything to like interrupt the connection from the website and change modify values and stuff. So they were able to send this with a put request, which is basically I wrote an explanation for you guys. Put is basically saying, here's the whole new order and replace it with what I gave to you, the whole order. And then they also have a patch one, which will be on the next slide. And the patch one is basically saying, I only want to replace this one part of the order, just this one item. So they were able to use puts and patches to manipulate order APIs and basically access stuff that they weren't supposed to access, which is bonkers to me. And the thing is, there was validation on the server. There is validation on the server, but they weren't validating everything. They were only validating some things. And of course, the things that they weren't validating was the price and the total price. So they would validate count, they'd validate what the item is, everything, but they wouldn't check if the client that requested this update had the same price on the back end. They would just believe you, sign the token, and send the token back, and now you have access. And another thing that the server didn't have was role-based control access. So any authorized JWT was given full admin site-wide access. So it didn't even matter what you logged in with, you would get admin access no matter what. So as soon as he had admin access, he started changing more things. So he tried to change the server from using, or the token at least, from using RSA to HMAC, which is hash-based message authentication. And it basically allows you to use the server's public key as the secret key. And it's a bit confusing, so I won't really get into it. Basically, it allows you to trick the server that you have like the password for everything in the secret key. So they were able to change the tag from RSA to HS256. Obviously, they're using a JSON web token, which is how they authorize themselves within the server. And then they changed, or they didn't change, they added this, which basically gave them full site-wide admin access. Didn't matter that this wasn't being checked by the server. They just agreed and were like, yeah, admin, cool, here you go, great. Yeah, so some more stuff. So we can talk about the vulnerability. So like I said, you can get unlimited one set items. You can redirect orders when you hijack them. You can get real-time GPS leaks, and you can even get admin KPI access. So I'm going to go over a few more things. I'm going to go over the order hijacking and the driver tracking. So for the order hijacking, this is what I was saying at the beginning. You need to have very well-timed API requests to get this to work. The person who tested it created 2 dummy accounts so that they weren't maliciously attacking the server and like breaking it and violating their HackerOne type of ethical bounty type stuff. So what they did was like I said, create 2 dummy accounts, and they sent an order through one dummy account, and they would grab, I think I have pictures here. Yeah, there. They would grab the user ID from the dummy account order, and then they would go to the secondary account, take that user ID, and transfer the order to the new account. And then to make it worse, the first account already paid for it, right? So you paid for your food, you're waiting for your food to come. The second account takes the order. You lose the order history on your, it says you never ordered it, and it doesn't come to your house anymore. And if you contact support, support's gonna say, I don't see it. And you're gonna say, well, I don't see it. Well, obviously, you know you paid for it. There's gonna be a lot of pointing fingers of who did what. So definitely very helpful that this guy made dummy accounts that didn't actually attack the infrastructure, because that could have been really, really bad. But that was pretty much it. And then for the driver tracking, this one was even scarier to me. You can get driver real-time data up to 5 minutes with longitude and latitude. That's updates all the time, like I said, every 5 minutes. And it shows like a Google Maps overview of like a street map, and you see like street names, house numbers, everything where they are at all times. And you see where they're going to go, like the place that they're eventually driving to. So very unsafe, lots of personal information leak. And also driver information could be leaked, like phone number, email address, payment information, like because they get paid through that app as well. address if I didn't say that. Basically, a bunch of personal information can get leaked through the API because there's not a lot of security through that. If they didn't fix this and if somebody had hacked them, they would lose 1.2 million rupees daily. Imagine somebody ordered every single item off McDonald's for 1 cent. Just daily, they'll lose 1.2 million rupees. That's, I don't even know the translation of that, but I know for example, like 20,000 rupees, it should be around 200 US dollars, maybe 250 US dollars. So this is probably a couple 100,000, maybe. I'm not sure. Math, pretty, yeah.
Out of curiosity, when the order goes through to McDonald's to be packed, they don't see prices of what was paid for things?
No, so
I don't work at McDonald's.
no,
but
of course.
actually,
So I'm not sure about in the US or Canada, but in West and South India, that server that does all that stuff is not really related to McDonald's. It's all run off like a sub domain for like McDelivery, and they use CMS as well. $20,000. There you go. I was very wrong, but there you go. So imagine losing. I mean, it's not a lot, but 20,000 daily loss is still more than $0 daily loss. So not ideal. But what I was saying was McDonald's doesn't like, they don't really watch the server at all. It's just the people within West and South India that run it. And when the price gets validated by the server with the JWT, with a JWT that is authorized by the server, the payment processor just believes whatever McDelivery sends them. So the payment processor doesn't check with McDonald's. It doesn't check with their own stuff. It just, if you send me this, that's what it costs, and that's what I'm going to charge you. So it gets pretty bad too, because if your total for your order is less than like 10 rupees or 20 rupees, you can opt to pay at door, cash at door as well, which adds more reason to get like a malicious
Well,
order,
that's why I was
right?
You could come in to pick that up.
Yes.
This is a 20-cent order. What's going on here?
Yeah,
So you
exactly.
look at the
So
little sheet that, hey, 20 cents for these 40 items. What happened here?
yeah, I mean, I that didn't happen unfortunately because this
No,
wasn't like
figured.
yeah. I mean, it's a good question. It's a good question. Okay, so
Might not notice immediately on the first order, but it would be noticed
Yeah.
within an hour.
oh, that's good to know. Yeah, you'll see like the order
Yeah,
that's
If the dish is in DoorDash, we get what's called a credit sale add to our sales.
okay.
So somebody would notice at the end of the hour, like, hey, our hourly sales are way lower than.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
What?
Yes. Yeah, and then you would probably report it to head office. Head office would look into
Yeah,
it,
and
stuff
someone
like that.
would
Yeah,
figure
yeah,
out
yeah.
That thing, but actually what did happen a few years ago is somehow the price of 10 nuggets on Uber Eats just for a few minutes got changed to 0.
I think I remember this. I'm not gonna lie.
This wasn't like a.
Yeah.
This wasn't like a.
Yeah,
So we are getting orders for free 10 nuggets, like.
yeah. Of course, the whole yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I can imagine because you have to approve you have to fill the order. They ordered it, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. It's within like 5 minutes.
okay, yeah, still, yeah. Yeah, of course it does. Of course it does. I think I had some photos that were more descriptive, but don't seem to have them in here, which is not the end of the world. But it was basically just me talking about or me showing pictures of what you see when you interact with the GPS for the drivers, and what you see when you interact with the payment processing at the end. It's pretty simple. Basically, like I said to Joel, the payment processor just believes what you send them. So if you say the order is 1 cent for 4,000 hash browns and 1 drink, it'll charge you 1 cent, like whatever it believes. You can even change the price, because obviously you can change it lower. You can change it to more. So this one guy ordered like a freezer, one of those coolers, those mixers into ice refreshers, whatever, and he charged himself 5,000 rupees for one of them. And then it was like 1,000 hash browns for like 68 US dollars. He was like, click. And he's like, I want this to be free. I don't want it to be $68. So he did more research and he was able to find out that you can change the total price and the price for everything. So that was definitely very funny to me. So we'll go over a bit of the timeline. Just like I said at the beginning of the presentation, it was found midsummer last year. within about 1 to 2 months, McDonald's India verified the claim and they fixed it, and they added a crap ton of verifications into the system. HMAC works properly. They added rate limiting. They validate price properly. I think they even contacted jourdź, which is the payment provider, to see if they can connect to them and see if they can also do some validation. So that's obviously massive. And then at the end of last year, they sent the blog to be approved, and then they posted it in December. So
What's HMAC?
HMAC. So like I said at the beginning, I kind of really went over it a bit too fast, but it's basically hash message-based authentication. So instead of using RSA, they use HMAC, and HMAC can basically use a public key and make it a secret key. And they changed how it implements it. They use a full signature implementation instead of half. So now it fully validates, and it doesn't allow you to use a public key to gain secret key access. And can you believe they only gave him $240 for this? $240 Amazon gift card. Digital Amazon gift card. After they paid him off, they increased how much they pay out. Nice, right?
It's true we want.
Yeah, they only increased it by about $200 as well. So it's about $500, which is still not that much, but hopefully they increase it more as well. And then, yeah, just a few key takeaways. So there's some stats that I found that bug bounties prevent more than 40% of breaches. There was a good question that I was doing research with, and it was a question of why not have quarterly pen test versus bug bounties. Quarterly pen test is more of like something where you want them to test a specific thing in a specific way, at a certain time. When you have bug bounties, they're running throughout the year, and you don't know what you want to be tested. People will attack whatever they want. Obviously, you can have rules and restrictions to what you can and can't attack, but it's a lot more broader scope, and there's a lot more. It's like a proactive type of response instead of a reactive response. It's getting like a pen test as soon as something happens. Just sign up for the bug bounty program and have random people across the internet just find bug bounties for them, because you know they will. There are some smart people out there that just break systems for a living, so it will get done. So that's why HackerOne was pushing McDonald's Canada and US to get on HackerOne, because McDonald's India is there, the rest aren't. And yeah, they added a lot of API verifications. We'll just go over these 3 ones. They changed how the algorithm gets verified with the server. So like I said, they changed how they verified all the prices, all the amounts, who it talks to, server back and forth. Real-time anomaly detection, this is for the driver GPS being tracked. It basically limits how the IDs get enumerated. Instead of it being 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's like a hex or like a hash code basically, and you won't be able to guess them basically. It's just a random numbers, letters, digits separated by hyphens, and that's the order number. So you wouldn't be able to enumerate through that. So they changed that, and then so they verified the algorithms and stuff. So yeah, so they changed the bounty to 25,000 rupees instead of whatever it was before. They demanded or mandated quarterly pen tests on top of bug bounty program. They did a 97% fraud reduction in their entire site, which is massive for McDonald's. And they made sure to encrypt the GPS with AES, which was helpful. Oh, and then of course for admin access for the KPIs, this I didn't even go over for this video. This admin access portal was found on the endpoints that were undocumented, and the site had lorem ipsum text on it, like Latin filler text on it, and it was a valid login. And they were able to log in with the JWT that they generated with the server that approved them as admin, and just logged in to the CMS admin panel and get all the key KPIs for all the restaurants in West and South India. And you would think if there's random Latin filler text on it, that it would be not a valid site, not in use, it's for testing. No, it worked. It was in production. So very, very scary read, very funny read, but yeah, definitely. That's a question. 240 US dollars.
They literally doubled.
Yes, yes,
It's 400.
yes, yes.
17
Yeah, so that's yeah. So they're like, oh man, 200. Okay, we'll double it, no problem. I guess this is a lot for them. I don't know. I mean, McDonald's makes a lot of money, especially in India. I don't know. They're saving a crap ton of money after all these hacks didn't get through. 1.2 rupee millions a day. That's insane. But yeah, so this is pretty much it. So they added Azure Active Directory integration for the admin portal, so you can't just log in with whoever you want and get access. So I believe that was it. Yes, that was it. So thank you so much. I hope everybody enjoyed.
Everybody that has not been here before, I'm posting in the Discord in stream questions. There will be a link to a Google form. You'll take that key, fill out the form, and that's how you get your CCR extracurricular hours for Sheridan. It's a very easy form. I'll post the link right now, but you'll just take that key and fill out the form. In the you're gonna have to refocus. Go back. Oh, okay.
Perfect.
Except
We
the
did it.
music started, except the music started. Oh, don't cut it.
Okay, we're good. Yes, yay, we're good?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Amazing.
Guys, for those of you who have never experienced the wonder of an
Yeah.
atom middle segment, you're in for a lucky day. So
Their socks are gonna come off.
thank you so much for being here. And Adam, please.
Thank you. Recently, our newly elected American president, Donald Trump, pardoned a bunch of people. But among those people was one special individual. And that special individual's name was Ross Ulbricht. So special, in fact, that he even got his own tweet from Trump. He said, I just called the mother of Ross William Ulbricht to let her know that in honor of her and the libertarian movement which supported me so strongly, it was my pleasure to have just signed a full and unconditional pardon of her son, Ross. So who is this guy? And why is he so special? Right? How are you so special to get not only an unconditional pardon from Ross or from Trump, but also your own tweet? I briefly heard the name before. You may have briefly heard the name before. But I wanted to dive into who he actually was, but more specifically, what he created and how he got caught. Ross William Ulbricht created one of, if not the biggest anonymous marketplace on the dark net. And that marketplace was known as Silk Road. It was completely anonymous because it only took payments in Bitcoin and it was also on Tor. Obviously, you can see that there's a snapshot there when it was running. It ran from about 2011 to 2013 and it sold a bunch of different things. Computer equipment, fake passports, fake IDs, to drugs, such as weed or prescriptions or the stuff you get from Breaking Bad. At its peak, about 9.5 million Bitcoin flowed throughout the entire website for 2 years. In today's price, that's about $1.4 trillion worth of Bitcoin. Back then, it was about $10 per coin, and that's about 95 million, but still, for the entire 2 years, 1.4 trillion is quite a bit. About 950,000 registered accounts were made because in order to view, sell, or buy, you had to actually make an account. And there was about 100,000 registered buyers. But one thing that's important is to know, or to note, is the commissions. And this is how the payments were anonymous. Obviously, they were done through Bitcoin, but this is how the payment system actually worked. So the buyer transferred their money to Bitcoin, bought it in Silk Road, and then the money went to Silk Road's escrow wallet, which was just another Bitcoin wallet in the middle. And then the money went to the seller, and then Silk Road took a commission of about 8 to 15%. That amounts to about 600,000 Bitcoin as well. So if you do the math in Canadian, that's about 600,000 times 150,000. I didn't do it, but you can imagine it's a lot. So now you know how the payment system is anonymous. How is the actual website anonymous? Well, to know how the website itself was anonymous, you have to know how Tor works. Tor, or onion routing, it's like layers of an onion equals layers of encryption. So I'm going to briefly talk about it in Tor terminology, and then, like the good old-fashioned OSI model, I'll use the package in the mail analogy. If you wanted to connect to a website through Tor, say Silk Road, your data would first get encrypted 3 times before going through an interconnected relay network of 3 nodes, an entry node, a middle node, and an exit node. So your data gets encrypted 3 times, and then it gets sent to the entry node. The first layer gets decrypted. Then that gets sent to the middle node. Second layer gets decrypted, and then that is sent to the exit node, and the last layer is decrypted. Now the node knows where to send the data, which is to Silk Road, and sends the data there. But the most important part to note in all of this is only the entry node knows who you are. Doesn't know the destination because all it's doing is just sending data to the middle node. The middle node is just the middleman, and the exit node doesn't even know who you are. It's just sending data to where it's going to, right? So, like the package in the mail analogy, regular internet traffic is giving a package to your friend, right? That's roughly how it would work, just straight up giving it to them. A VPN is giving a package to Canada Post, if they're not on strike. And then on behalf of you, Canada Post would give it to your friend. Now, while that is secure in most conditions, technically you are still putting trust into Canada Post or that VPN, right? At the end of the day, if desperation calls, the VPN would be easily able to find out who you are and what you're doing because it knows where your destination is. Tor is extremely anonymous because it does that 3 times over. So you give your package to Canada Post would then give it to UPS would then give it to FedEx, and then FedEx would then give it to your friend. Canada Post is the only one that knows who you are, but it doesn't know the destination because all it's doing is just giving the package to UPS. UPS has no idea who you are and no idea where the destination is. So it just gives it to FedEx. And then FedEx has no idea where the package came from. All it knows is that it's sending it to your friend. And that is why Tor is extremely anonymous. So how Ross got caught is divided into actually 2 parts. How they found out his identity, and then how they physically caught him. So I'm going to ask a question. For anyone in the audience that doesn't know the case of how he actually got caught, can anyone guess as to how they found out his identity? Because at this time, the FBI was actively looking for a lead as to who the owner of Silk Road was, who the creator was. So for anyone that can guess, how do you think they found his identity? Yeah. Nope. Does anyone else say, yeah? Nope.
Exorbitant spending habits.
Oh.
No.
So they actually found who he was through OSINT. Good old open source intelligence. Essentially what happened was in 2011, when Silk Road was first created, there was a forum about Bitcoin called Bitcoin Talk. And when Silk Road was first created, there was an account named Altoid. And this account was basically talking a lot about Silk Road, right? I'm going to buy off of here. You guys should check it out. It takes payments in Bitcoin. Also, it's off of Tor. It's Amazon without restrictions. And the FBI thought it was a little bit suspicious, but there was no really, it was just an anonymous profile. Until 8 months later, when that same Altoid account created a post on Bitcoin Talk and said, hey, I'm looking for an IT pro in the Bitcoin community that can help me with my anonymous payments and anonymous commissions. If you are interested in the job, email me at rossalfix@gmail.com. So now the FBI is extremely happy because they have a lead, they have a name, they haven't had one in so long, and now they do because the guy leaked his own email. So now on to how he physically got caught. Somehow, some way, the FBI found the hosting servers of Silk Road in Reykjavik, Iceland. Now, it's convoluted as to how they actually found the servers, right? Ross said in the legal documents that it was the FBI misconfiguring the actual website of Silk Road, the front page. The FBI came out and said that the IP was leaked through a CAPTCHA, which doesn't really make sense. But all in all, it doesn't really matter because regardless, at the end of the day, they got the server. And with that, Ross had no idea. So the FBI was at the server collecting all the data, all the timestamps, and all the messages. And they used this data to timestamp with the user known as jourdPirateRoberts, which was allegedly Ross. Allegedly Ross because jourdPirateRoberts was one of the main admins off the server, and he was mainly the one that was only posting updates on the Silk Road forum. But that's not the only way that they knew who Ross was and why he was behind jourdPirateRoberts. Plot twist, there was actually a Homeland Security agent that infiltrated the staff team for 2 years and became close friends with Ross. And that's essentially how he actually got caught physically. So they essentially what happened was when they knew that Ross was only going onto Silk Road, onto the website through public libraries or public cafes and just public internets or public Wi-Fi's in general. So one day when the FBI actually tracked where he lived, which was in San Francisco, the Homeland Security agent messaged him, said, hey, I'm having trouble configuring something on this post. Is it okay if you quickly check it out? So Ross said, yeah, sure. Packed his stuff. 5 minutes later, he's out the door. FBI, like eagle eyes, watching him down the street, going, walking, and then eventually ending up at a public library. That's actually the library where he got caught too. And about 5 minutes afterwards, he entered the library and goes online, logs into the admin panel, and they see that Dread Pirate Roberts is actually online. The FBI, at the same time, is looking at the server and seeing the timestamp, and they see the IP address that's coming from this exact library. So after that's confirmed, law enforcement rushed in and caught him lacking so hard, he was still on the admin panel when they were putting him in handcuffs, logged in onto Dread Pirate Roberts. So they had visible proof right there. And because of that, he received 2 life sentences for money laundering, for distribution of narcotics, and a bunch of other stuff. So what's happening now? Well, as I mentioned earlier, he's free. Trump gave him a complete and unconditional pardon, even though he distributed narcotics and made a website like Silk Road. And he actually set up crypto donations and merch on freeross.org as well. So if you wanted to buy merch, you can cop some. It has hashtag freeross on the front. Now, while all of this is going down, there's still one question to ask, or to be answered at least. On every Reddit post that you go on that talks about Ross, on every YouTube video, on every discussion, and even the protests in 2011, the same question came up. Did Ross actually deserve the life sentence, the 2 life sentences that he had? One side says, of course, right? He created a website with ill intent, narcotics, to, who knows what danger and what people he killed because of the website. But then the other side says, he was just an entrepreneur. He wanted to create a website that had no governmental restrictions, was completely anonymous, people can do what they want, and that he only got 2 life sentences because the government just wanted to make an image out of him, right? Everyone else that was involved in the Silk Road case, maximum got 3 to 5 years, but this guy got 2 life sentences. So that's always something to think about. But if you're interested in the case, if you're interested in Ross, freeross.org was a website that was actually created by his family when he first got indicted and first got arrested, that talks about debunking the misinformation that came out, his legal case, who he actually is, and stuff about the Silk Road. Other than that, that's everything. Thank you.
All right, Adam, thank you as always. I love those middle segments. They're so good. If you ever see Adam doing a middle segment, now you know what you're in for. So thank you guys so much for that. Okay, I hope you guys had a moment of time to think about the question I asked you earlier, because now's about the time that I'm gonna get into it. So there is a point to this, I promise, and it's really good. It's a really good one. So who would like to volunteer first to answer this question? What do you do in your free time? It's not a trick question. Go ahead. Play soccer. Soccer. All right. So how much? Like, are you currently playing soccer? Yeah. How much? How many times a week? Once a week. How many hours is that? An hour. Okay. An hour. Very good. Next. Who else? I gotta get everybody here. Soccer. Okay. How long? Soccer. 2 an hour. All right. Great. Who's next? Let's go.
Hiking.
Hiking. How much do you do that a week?
1 day.
1 day.
It's about around 7 hours or 8 hours each day.
Damn. Okay. Wow. I don't know how you. My God, 7 hours.
Every day?
No, once a week. Once a week.
Oh.
Here.
Each day.
Who's next? Who's next? I got it. Everybody's going.
He goes hiking. It's 7 hours.
Okay. Nathan, what do you do in your free time? Be honest. Everyone's free.
Airsoft
No, like every day.
every day.
Yeah.
Like
League. How many days a week you play an hour?
Probably like.
That's not okay. 2 hours per day. All right. Leg. Well, English is whatever. Go.
Streaming.
Streaming. How many often?
I try to do like a couple times a week. Maybe like like 6 hours a day if I can do that. Well, I don't usually do less than 6 hours. 6 hours a day for 3 days.
It's not a trick question.
My words kept coming up. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Next. What do you do in your free time?
Study, of course.
How many hours? What you?
Gym or go for a run outside.
Gym.
1 hour a day.
Gym run. 1 hour.
Sports.
Sports. How many hours a day?
Probably an hour.
Hour a day. All right.
Music.
Music.
Yes.
Perfect. How many hours a day?
Maybe an hour a day.
An hour. Okay. An hour. All right. Yourself?
Reading.
Reading. That's a good. How many hours a day?
2 hours.
2 hours.
Yeah.
That's very good. I wish I could do that. That's amazing. Yourself? Which one? Right now.
How long then? Right now, mine's.
I usually play solid. Okay.
That's a new one.
I swear like multiplayer classes.
How many hours are you playing Minesweeper?
For some money. 50. 50? What?
That's a different person.
Super day. Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. Go.
Lots of time wasting stuff. Depending on the day, it's either gaming, watching John's stream, or other people.
Got a corroboration. There you go.
Like 2 or 3 hours volleyball. But the other stuff for like the gaming, I'm assuming stuff is probably about an hour. I'm often doing other stuff while I have that up.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Did I get you?
Yeah. What is this free time you guys are talking about?
This guy's busy all the time. I can just confirm.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yourself? Yeah. Draw 2 hours today. Okay, perfect. Draw, I like that. Okay. My friend. You. I'm looking at you.
Thinking for 17 hours a day.
This is ridiculous. So, online poker. Are you up right now or? No. How many hours do you gamble? Say an hour or two. Perfect.
That's not fucking words.
Whatever.
I'll send you
What? We'll put lots.
Like there's not
How many hours
letter
a day?
or number.
6 to 8.
Whoa.
That's a lot of stuff. Lots of stuff. How about you? Gaming? What game? Yeah. Cyberpunk? Okay.
Yeah.
6. Okay. How many hours a day do you play Cyberpunk? At least 5? Oh.
No, he says I have a free like 3 inches.
That's a good one. Yourself? Soccer for an hour? Okay. Perfect.
No, that's his.
Oh, sorry, I didn't get you back there. It's okay. It all makes sense at the end. Did I get you already?
Yeah.
Oh, what was your answer again? Poker. Yes. Geez, sorry. Short-term memory loss. How about you? Social media? What's your poison of choice? Instagram? Reels?
Feels like it's so hard.
Yo, reels are dangerous.
Reels are top.
No filter.
So like what? Like what's your screen time on your phone? 9
Reels are
hours?
great.
Can you please? Expose yourself. This might help you. This might help.
Random.
You know?
Yeah, I see what some.
Today, 1 hour. That's like a max of 2 hours, maybe it's a real.
Okay, 1 to 3 hours of reels. That's tough, bro. That's you gotta start somewhere. You know what I mean? Yeah. Cook? Damn. Okay, that's good. How many hours a day you doing that? 2 hours? That's
You
beautiful.
have to lie to show us all up. You don't have to do that. I'm see, I can't.
Adam,
Okay.
per day, what you doing?
Dude, you said like what? What town hall are you?
14, 2 hours. I think that's another good hobby. We get read 1 hour.
It's better be worth it.
You how many hours? Like how many dedicated hours? Like you're not doing something else and watching YouTube, like just YouTube. Yeah. 3?
We got bacon thing, 4 hours.
How much?
Thanks for 4 days. That's
Fortnite. The big 2. 4 hours, bro. That's crazy. Did I get it? Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. How many hours you exercising? Damn,
That's good.
God, I wish I could do that. Okay. That's not. I'm not writing anything.
Yeah, it says gotta be on that grind.
For sure. God. Fortnite, Hatsune Miku, Elden Ring, 3 to 6 hours depending on the day.
Elden Ring.
Oh,
All right. Anybody else online wanna out themselves right now? You guys got another minute or two. Draw usually for an hour or so. Okay, drawing get another healthy, good hobby here. That is true. That is true. Marvel Rivals, I do like. Okay, yeah. That's a good game. Sure. 1 to 2 hours. I'll add it on here. Okay, so I think that's good. Okay. Now you're probably wondering, like, what's the reason for this? There's got to be like some grand conspiracy theory. Well, this is actually a sales tactic I learned at a gym. So now I'm gonna flip it onto you guys. So this is a lot of hours in a day. Okay. And for some of you, it may be like an introspective moment. Like 3 hours of reels is just not good for your health. Elden Ring for 3 to 6 hours, like Nate did say, it does have an end. Like there is an end. I don't know what you're doing. Yeah, there are other games. Some of you guys have healthy habits like reading, or drawing, or exercising, or cooking, or playing Minesweeper. I guess that's the good too. I don't get it, but it is what it is. But it's good for your brain. But we add up all these hours collectively, okay? And we get a bunch. It's probably like close to 50, 60 hours like a day in here or something. I don't want to do the math, but there's a lot of hours in a day. Okay. Now, how many of you are going to the CTF? Okay. Now, let's think for a second, okay? We, as Sheridan students, okay, use all of this time, okay, instead of Minesweeper and Fortnite, Clash of Clans,
Stop exercising.
hours of Cyberpunk, like League for 2. This is a lie, by the way. This is like streaming.
Hey, I paid for that one, so.
Listen, a lot of these things are great, but if we invest this time, okay? In a second. We invested this time, okay, into these wonderful platforms to help learn us how to do better at CTFs and engage our brain and to advance our skills and careers as cybersecurity students. I think that this year we actually be able to beat Waterloo and University of Toronto. I'm so tired
I'm
of
sure they're
seeing
getting all the
them
challenges
winning.
done in a quarter of the day.
Listen, we've done a lot of things to make it so that they can't use their big brain tactics on our challenges and brute force their way through things that they should not be able to brute force into. We have added rate limiting. We have made the challenges extremely complicated to an extent. They're also very easy for people to begin with, so don't be intimidated by the challenges. But all this time, just simply put here, even okay, let's just break down some of these, okay? 36 hours of Elden Ring. Let's cut that to like 1 to 2 hours, and then we put the rest of the hours into, you know, hack the box, okay? Zero free time. I'm not buying it, okay? I'm not buying it, but you could use that over there, okay? Minesweeper. Let's go.
This guy's.
I don't know what to say. Okay. Listen,
No, it's kind of a puzzle.
for the healthy things like reading and drawing and cooking and stuff like that, like just, you know, be less productive and be more productive here. Just for the next week and a half, 2 weeks, okay? Like literally just stop soccering, okay? And start CTFing, right? We don't need to be cooking for 2 hours. Uber Eats exists, you know what I mean? Like, come on. Big delivery, you know? All these things, right? Just all these things that we can do to just try to get an edge. And you know what? You can look at this however you like. You can take whatever I'm saying. In general, just working on these platforms is a massive, massive, massive bonus to not only your learning as a cybersecurity student, but your success in the future. Yes.
I was gonna say, when you complete the rooms on Try Hack Me and challenges on HackTheBox, you get certificates that you can post on LinkedIn and
Yes.
keep them everywhere. And you get badges that you can post on other platforms.
I believe, what is it, Hack the Box or Try Hack Me? That's the EJPT
I
certification.
think that's HackTheBox.
Hack the Box? Yeah. EJPT is like a junior penetration tester cert that's actually very like recognized right now. Like if you have it and you're applying for co-op, like it's a really good way to get in. And it's just a fun gamified way of studying. So again, instead of Minesweeper for an hour, it's EJPT, I believe. It's like
Or junior penetration.
junior penetration tester certification. Like it basically go on the platform. You do a bunch of rooms. You do a quiz, like a test at the end, and you get a nice certification, which is really cool. So, but yeah, guys. Moral of the story: I really want to beat Waterloo. I really want to beat University of Toronto this year, and I think these are some really good resources. If you want to take a picture of this or go on YouTube and get the links after. If you're not signed up for Hack the Box and Try Hack Me already, you should definitely do that because you're gonna have to do them in classes eventually anyway if you're in cybersecurity. So you may as well do them ahead of time and get a bunch done. You don't have to do homework for like 6 weeks. So
Yeah, we're just gonna be showing it to you. Porno college is sick.
I don't know what you're talking about. I made this in 5 minutes. So yeah, this is the whole point of this whole thing. So again, take this as an introspective moment. For those of you that do have good habits, continue doing your good habits. Keep cooking, please. Right? Don't stop cooking. Some of you need some help, but that's okay. But yeah, so that's it. I think the next. Oh wait, I missed one. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay. So, those of you that are coming in person to the CTF, I just wanted to show you how easy it is to like actually get there. This is Union. Like when you get out of Union, that's Front Street. Like you just literally walk out to the street, you make a left to the intersection, and you walk straight. And it's literally a 5-minute walk. Like you don't need to take an Uber. You don't need to do it unless it's like -5 bajillion or something. It's a 5-minute walk up to the building. I'll put a sign there in the morning right outside so that you know. The building is right on the corner, but it's a huge building, and the entrance is like in the middle between like the two buildings. And then you walk in, and if you've watched Suits, it's the lobby from Suits.
Starting to watch it.
Yeah, it's really cool. So yeah, that's how you get there. I'm gonna post like all this information and train schedules and times and stuff like that for people that may be going there. But yeah, that's it. That's really all I wanted to say. Again, thank you guys so much for coming out. That is the end of the session today. Nathan, I don't know if you wanted to say or add anything. It's up to you. You don't have to.
Yeah, sign the forms.
Yeah.
Sign the form.
So when it comes to the event, we like we do have a capacity, so you can't just show up, unfortunately. So if you don't have a ticket, I think they're sold out right now, but we're gonna try to go through the list of people who have bought tickets. They're free, but people who have asked for a ticket, can you please not keep yapping, buddy, while I'm talking? And we're also gonna. It's literally why. So getting there, yeah, like we're gonna cross-reference like people who have done the tickets and the Google Forms. If someone has bought like reserved a ticket but has not done the Google form, we're essentially gonna give them like 2 days to do the Google form, or we're refunding the ticket again free. But we're basically gonna say like you haven't done what you need to do, and there's people who have filled out the form that wants to come. So we're gonna kind of try to evaluate that. Executives, you guys don't have to worry. Whatever. So do the forms. Yes. Yeah, we'll email people. Like if someone if someone bought a ticket and didn't do the form, we'll email them and be like, hey, by the way, can you please do the form? Because if you're not gonna do the form, there's someone that's totally willing to do the form, and we don't want them to miss out because you reserved a ticket and then didn't do anything that's required afterwards. So we're gonna be pretty lenient on that, but I just think we want to make sure that people who want to come can come, and those people who want to come will do a form. It's very easy. Yes. The waiver. Yeah. So we have a capacity of 100. If you guys have your tickets already, it's fantastic. If you don't, like, it's no worries. The virtual event is still incredible. The challenges our CTF team have put together are amazing and very fun. So even if you are virtual, please attend the CTF. Do the Google form at least. But we really would appreciate anybody to come, share the word, spread the word. Doesn't have to be a cybersecurity student. Could be computer science student. Could be your mom if she wants to participate. We aren't really limiting people too much. So yeah, just do the forms. We'll post them again. As shared in students, you guys have an extra form, unfortunately. But it's a super easy form. You just say, if I die, you're not at fault. So just sign the form and don't die, and everything's good. So yeah, I didn't have anything else.
No, that's it. Good.
For those of you who haven't been here before, we do go to Monahan's across the street after the session. If you guys want to come by for like 10 minutes or chill for an hour, grab a bite. I got some pretty good food and just shoot the shit with each other. So if anybody wants to come, you're more than welcome to. I'm gonna give them a call and let them know we're coming, and hope to see you there. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. See you at the CTF. Thank you, everyone.